Well, we're out here still hunting the hills of Pennsylvania on public land, actually National Forest public land. And when you hear National Forest, you think of giant trees, big open hardwoods, and that's what we have around here and behind me. Now you could spend a lot of hours up here wandering around in these open hardwoods. They're beautiful, you can see a long ways. But folks, of course, that's not where the deer are. And when you're hunting public land anywhere, very important to seek diversity of habitat. And when you're out on public land, often that diversity of habitat really sticks out, especially national forest land where they don't practice a lot of cuttings. In fact, in this area, I don't know if this has been cut in many decades, probably going back to the 40s, 30s. So nearly 100 years, this hasn't been cut back here, and maybe more. For that, the diversity of habitat really sticks out. I've seen these same kind of changes in the UP of Michigan where you have open hardwoods and then you have swamps and marshes. It creates that edge, creates food, creates diversity, and that's where those whitetails will be. Out here we just are able to sneak in and pass on a little 4-point. It's not even legal in Pennsylvania in this spot. It's got to have 3 on the side. But really hunting the diversity. So what I'm doing is I'm sneaking and I'm still hunting through these hills. We detail that approach in another video. But I'm looking down into diversity. I'm looking at benches, steep change in topography where that meets a level area. And then I'm looking at the diversity that's in those locations. Now sometimes out here in the National Forest, you have one giant tree that falls down for whatever reason, scars a few other trees, and over a few decades, all of a sudden you have a young patch of beech, maple, oak, whatever that's going to come in here. And you have that younger area diversity. It might only be a quarter of an acre, half acre. Those deer really key on it. In this case, we had some blowdowns where that 4-point was bedded. Was able to see his bed first and know that a deer was down there and sneak around that brush to finally locate him. And really didn't get a good look at him until about 30 yards when I pulled up the rifle. He had antlers and realized he was not a legal buck. The diversity is so key. We have hemlocks and streams down at the bottom, but that's just not enough diversity. Once you have that stream, the hemlocks, that meets the hardwood line, you have those elevation changes and benches. I like to look at as many changes and many diversities that come together when it comes to habitat. Doesn't matter if I'm hunting the swamps in the UP of Michigan on public land, the big giant hills down in the hardwoods of Ohio, public land. Down there you'd have a lot of greenbrier up on top. So you're looking for the greenbrier changes, and then you have hemlock down the bottom, you have streams. So you kind of get the picture, where it's really steep and then it flattens out halfway up the hill you can look down into. Whether you're setting up a stand in those flats and benches for bow, or doing what we're doing is still hunting in the snow and this high wind up top, we're looking down those benches. We're finding diversity, we're locating bucks, hopefully one big enough to shoot, and we're going to get going because we're up on this flat where I don't expect any deer because there's no diversity, it's just big open hardwoods. We're going to make tracks through this area, going down a point. There's a lot of little benches that I want to look into that we've actually taken bucks from before. Can't wait to get there and follow along because we feel good about today. We've already been able to see a buck, so that's a good sign. Not a lot of deer out here, so when we do see a deer, it's likely a buck, and there's some big ones.